What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today, of course, I'm going to be showing you guys probably the best video. I don't know yet because the year has already started and I'm already coming out with all these banger videos like Popeye and a bunch of sculpted and some of the best things that I've ever made. So 2020, if the rest of the year keeps going like this, 2023 might actually be the best year on my channel, which is going to be crazy. But of course, I'm going to be showing you probably my favorite thing that I've ever made. And of course, I was so happy to build this guy because I didn't even think I could do it. Of course, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about Galactus. Now, this was one of the characters that was supposed to be in Lego Marvel Collections too. He was supposed to be in it, and I swore that I wanted to put him in it. And it was either going to be a 3D printed version or it was going to be a custom Lego mock design based on the buildable Harry Potter figures. Because for a while I was working in Mecha Bricks, or wait, it was actually Bricklink Studios. I was working in Bricklink Studios working on a Galactus mock, and I was going to order all the parts, and it was basically going to be based on the Lego, it was going to be based on the buildable Harry Potter and Hermione figures that came out. However, that didn't happen, and I completely scrapped it, and Lego Marvel Collections 2 got shot and became one of the longest videos that I've ever made, probably beating the Frozen videos, which, thank God, because I do not like those videos at all. And yeah, it was basically, the idea of Galactus being made was out of the picture. Of course, it was one of those things that, hey, Galactus would be cool, right? And it was kind of one of those things as a joke. And then I finally decided, you know what, I'm finally going to sit back and think on making Galactus, because of course I don't have that many red and blue parts in my collection as I originally thought, because I thought this guy would be hard, because of course Galactus is huge. Here's a picture of what he looks like. He's huge. I didn't know if I was going to have enough pieces. I didn't even know if I was going to have enough stuff to make him, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it, and I did it. And he's awesome. Of course, you guys are probably skipping through the video. If I'm probably being honest, you're probably skipping through the video. If you haven't and have sat all the way through this story, thank you so much. But you guys have probably already seen Galactus. But yeah, I will finally show him off because of course it is the best thing I've ever made. Of course, he is 10 inches tall. I think he's 10 inches tall, 10 and a half. I wanted him to be 1 foot, but he is the tallest thing in my collection, which I really wanted. So without further ado, I give you the best Marvel character I've ever made, and the coolest guy. I give you the Devourer of Worlds, Galactus. And you probably can't even see him. Okay? You probably can't even see him. Okay, here he is. There he is. He is really big, as you guys can see. He's very tall. And that's not even the top of his head. There you go. That is Galactus. And he is very, very tall. Okay, here's my hand. He is very tall here. If you guys want some size comparisons, I guess, we can do that right now. So, of course, I did bring his servant here. But, of course, we'll take a look at him in a minute. So, if I take Iron Man, we'll take Iron Man. He's about that size. And he's pretty big. Of course, the Hulk. Let's see how big he is compared to the Hulk. Get out of there, Iron Man. We got the Hulk. As big as a leg. So, he is pretty big. And compared to the Hulkbuster, see how big he is compared to the Hulkbuster. Pretty big. Pretty big indeed. This guy is really big. Of course, compared to, I don't know, just for fun, let's do SPDR. And then, of course, also fitting in Fing Fang Foom, which is supposed to be this big. He is about this big, but then if I move his neck up, he is still too short, which is very funny. This is literally the biggest thing I've made. And then, of course, the one thing that was the biggest Marvel thing that I made in my collection, the tallest, I guess. We have the Mecha Robot from the Japanese Spider-Man. Of course, as you guys can see, he is a big thing of a height difference. So, yeah, Galactus is pretty huge. And I'm surprised how much this guy looks like a Lego minifigure. I wasn't intending on doing that. I actually kind of wanted him to look like a Lego minifigure. But of course, if you guys want to see him compared to his servant, which of course is another reason why I wanted this guy, is of course now I have the Silver Surfer and Galactus, and just look at this, man. This is awesome. This is really cool. Of course, I can't really fit him anywhere on this guy. I might put a clear pole maybe sticking out of his back like this. I think that would be cool, but of course, just like that too. That is really cool. Okay, this is really awesome. And of course, a lot of you guys do want to see this dude compared to the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four is such a big thing in Galactus. He looks really cool compared to the Fantastic Four. Excuse Poe Dameron's face. It was just a random thing that I wanted to do. And if I do take Human Torch, I cannot find the Human Torch for whatever reason. Oh, here he is. He's in the front. So here's the full Fantastic Four team compared to this dude. And it is really awesome. Okay, this dude is really cool. And I know that I said in the... I know I kind of made it seem like a big deal in the, I guess the trailer, saying one of the most major guys, one guy missing. And I know I did miss a bunch of other Marvel characters, but this is kind of the guy I wanted to make from the beginning, Galactus. And, of course, the articulation, since we're all back here already, his head is completely stationary. I can't move his head. His head is really hard to move. And you can't move it at all. I tried to do some moving of the head, maybe. I tried to put some hinges and stuff here, but I don't think it would have worked that well, and it is connected really well to the shoulder pads right here. He can move his arms because his arms are on ball joints, which I kind of like. So, of course, if we take this, we can move the shoulder pads, which I love the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads use Thor's cape, which works really cool. So if we move those up, a little bit up, you can, of course, move his arms in a ball joint, of course, which is really nice. These ball joint pieces right here would have been cool in red, but I don't have it in red, so just used it in black. They work really nice, moves all the way around. Of course, his wrists as well do go out like this, even though minifigures shouldn't do that. His do, I wanted that to be a thing as well. I know he moves front and forward a lot. That's because his legs can actually move as well. But while building this, I thought he was going to be able to sit down, but he cannot sit down. So, yeah, he can move his legs, though, just a little bit, like little kicks and stuff. But that's really all the articulation of Galactus. And it's going to be kind of hard to break this dude down because of how big he is. So I guess I'd start with the legs, I guess. I guess we'll start down here with the legs. The legs are probably the most simple out of all of it. It was just basically taking a bunch of red and blue bricks and plates and putting them and stacking them on top of each other. And this is where I started. I started down here by the feet because, of course, when you're building something this huge and you don't know it's going to be this big, or you don't know how big this is going to be, because literally, zooming back out again, I didn't know if this guy, I was going to even complete this guy. This guy was one of those things that's like, okay, either I'm going to waste a couple hours of my life, or I'm going to make one of the coolest things ever. And of course, it turned out to be number 2, because I finished this guy and he looks really cool. But number 1 could have happened because I didn't have enough pieces or something. And he was going to be a bit smaller than this, but I do love how big the feet are, and the body, of course, do look good as well. But of course, going down here by the feet again, he has some snot bricks at the front. There's a ton of snot bricks on this dude. It's actually insane how much there is. But there is some snot bricks right here, so we can kind of make some knee pads right here. Of course, just moving it around, it's really cool. If I can, I guess, disconnect the top piece right here. So here's his little chest thing. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Kind of breaking them down section by section. His legs, I guess you can see how his legs move. His legs do have hinges on the inside, and here's his hip section right here, which his hips was the fastest I've ever built, which is probably why it kind of disconnects a lot down here, which is really crazy. So, of course, I do have a clip right here with a Spider-Man. This is kind of the back. Not really supposed to be the most detailed. This one does look the best right here, though. It's, of course, a clip connection built on this right here, which they both connect at the side right here, which looks really awesome and works really well. And, of course, there is a plate that goes right here, but that did connect to the torso. So, yeah, I did want to tile off the top. But of course I wasn't able to do that. If I do remove one of these plates and go under here, you guys will see on literally I was running out of pieces for the legs, and because I was running out of pieces for the legs and a lot of things, because I had to make the back look good in red, which I surprisingly did for some reason. It actually looks really good, because of course while I was building this dude, I didn't have enough of these red pieces to go across the bricks, and so I just took this piece, which wouldn't be the piece I'd go for, but it was the only piece I had in my collection at the time. Of course, you can see that blue piece back here, and it works really well. So of course, if we move this back a little bit and then go on to his chest, because his chest is very big, as you guys can see here, this whole piece right here. So of course, if you guys want to see a skeleton photo, what this guy was made of, and I'll basically scoot this over a little bit, a skeleton photo, if I put it right here, this is basically what the inside of him looks like. And you guys are probably saying, wow, that's a lot of not red and blue. Yes, I didn't have that many red and blue pieces. Of course, the torso was the second thing I did. I basically moved upwards, so the head was the last thing I did. And I do have a photo of what this dude looked like before I did modifications to his head again. But of course, this photo right here, this was the inside of what he looked like. It is not the prettiest at all. It is pretty ugly, and it basically looked like that. So what I did is I basically covered over all of those Travis bricks on the inside with plates and stuff. So the plate right here is from the Spidey and His Amazing Friends. A lot of this is from Spidey and His Amazing Friends. This is the big base plate that was used for Spidey and His Amazing Friends, because I needed a huge piece that was red because I didn't have enough plates. And I'm so glad that I got 2 of the sets, because I don't think I would have had enough of these pieces, which is really nice. So of course, as you guys can hear, it is a bit hollow on the inside. I don't think I can maybe get rid of this piece at the front, but it's, I guess I'll put a picture of what the piece looks like. It's basically the base piece of the whole Spider-Man set. So I did that. It looks really cool, and I did that for the back as well because I had 2 of them. So I put that on there, and then I put some plates right here so I could cover up some more Travis bricks, and then down here as well to cover up some more Travis bricks. And it looks really nice. So if we go on the back, once again, just do the same thing. I think I could move this up a little bit more, maybe. I think it would be better right here. Which, yeah, I guess that actually looks much better. I should have done that in the long run. But yeah, back here it doesn't really look that good. It looks actually kind of trash from the back, but if we go to the front is where it's at, which is really awesome. Of course, as you guys can see, you can kind of see a better look at the arms, which, taking a look at this arm, they're basically replicated on both sides. Taking the head off actually right now so we can kind of focus on that a bit later. of course, looking at his arms, you can see that I used some corner pieces in red from the Spider-Man sets, more corner pieces in red and stuff. And then for the hands, funny enough, the actual hands were supposed to be these pieces. And I had 2 of these pieces at the front. That's why you don't see them on the back right here, because of course I didn't have enough of these blue pieces. So I only had 3 of them in my collection. So I had like 5 of these round pieces in my collection. So I just did that, and it works really well. Of course, a minifigure can fit in here. We will take a look at that later, because it will not give it justice of how big this dude is later. So there it is, same build on the other side. I'm very proud of the arms. The arms, I thought the arms were going to be the worst part, because I was originally just going to make these flat like this, and it was just going to be like arms that go like up and down and stuff like this. But I'm so glad that I added a hinge connection, because it honestly sells the effect a lot. And I'm just really proud of the arms. The arms turned out incredibly well, and I didn't know that it was going to be this easy. The arms are probably the easiest part of all of it, also the sides as well. But of course, using a ton of slopes, because I used the Harry Potter method on how they made it. Because I actually started building the torso in Bricklink Studios. Of course, I did have an issue with the, I think it was putting the pole connection through. It was the gear connection in the middle. I had trouble with that. So of course, it does look a bit wonky because I didn't have enough of these pieces, which if I did, it probably would have looked better right here, but it's all right. Top, just use some blue plates. For the base, it's just 2 blue, just these plates again. Torso was surprisingly easy. However, this was the most scariest part, because I thought I made his waist too fat. That would have been scary. It probably would have been a little bit scary. So of course, if we put this down, because it actually transported with the head as well, and we go on to the head, because of course I added, I guess I'll remove them. I added these shoulder pieces right here, which these are from, I think I said it earlier in the video. These are from Thor's cape from the Lego mech. And of course I did put some blue plates at the bottom because I didn't have enough red. So these just go right here. And these are really awesome, okay? Don't mess around with this piece, because this piece honestly looks really cool as a shoulder piece. Like, just look at that, man. It looks so cool. And keep in mind, I did all of this. I think I had some inspiration. I'll say the inspiration I had at the very end. But now we have probably the scariest part of the whole thing, which was the head. The head was the scariest. And oh my god. You have no idea how happy I am. This head turned out amazing. The ears turned out incredible. The ears. Oh my god. You should have seen. I actually did take a photo of this dude before I made his head longer. Because, of course, as you guys know, Galactus, his head is pretty long. So if we basically just take a look at this dude with a flat head, this is my original Galactus. Look how terrible it is. It is so bad. Jesus, it is horrible to look at. It's the same model right here that I finished, but it's just the ears, man. The ears are probably my favorite part that turned out the best. Using these plates right here, geez, it just looks incredible and awesome. The eyes are the hardest part. I think they look okay. I tried to put a black dot on a digital version of him. I tried to put a black dot in here. Didn't look good, so just went with white. Black mouth looks all right, and of course his chin strap right here. Blue that connects to the torso, the head, and of course these sides are connected with Travis bricks and stuff. So yeah, there you go. That's how his head's built. His head's really blocky, but I don't care. The back had to come up with this situation because of course the tan down here didn't want some inconsistency words. Yeah, the top, really love this piece. I only had one of these pieces. Originally, the feet were gonna be like this long, so he was gonna be huge, but then I just settled on doing this, which his toes were actually gonna be made up of these pieces. But then I decided, you know what, I'll use that for the helmet. Of course, not obvious enough. Travis brick right here, looks really cool, kind of fits the whole thing together. That piece actually looks really cool. So putting this back on, I just put this on in the middle, and the head I'm very happy with because of course it actually connects to the sides right here, and actually connects to everything up here. So now it is fully connected. So yeah, I cannot move at all. But of course, putting that red piece right up here, you can see that. Putting that piece right there and locking those in. Kind of have to slide it in there a little bit, and then as soon as you do that, and then boom, there you go. That is Galactus. And of course, going back up again, there he is. And of course, as I said earlier in the video, he is able to hold a minifigure, so of course, to make fun of the mechs, we have a miniature Hulk right here. So the easiest way to put this guy in here is, of course, just clipping the sides of the hands right here, of course. It is a bit hard to put a figure in here. Not too hard, though. Just gotta follow some Lego logic, and there you go. He has a figure in his hand now, which is really awesome and just looks really cool. It just, if you want to know, it just connects to the bottom of the studs right here. It's kind of it. That's really it. And yeah, that is basically it for Galactus. And probably the best thing that I've ever made. Of course, the full 360, since he deserves it, since he is. And I can't even get to the top of this dude. Okay, there you go. But full 360 of this dude. Honestly, very proud of how he turned out. And of course, with the hinge connection, as you guys can see, he's kind of at an angle. To move him straight like this, it kind of has to balance. So it does work, but he mostly goes back. I don't really care. It looks okay. And yeah, just if you guys can see, this thing is massive. This thing is huge. And it was a big headache to make. And I'm glad that I made him because he looks really cool. And I'm probably not going to make another video on this dude just because he's very big and I don't really have any updates. I tried to update this dude, maybe add some stuff to it. There's really nothing more I can do. This dude is honestly perfect. I think maybe the one thing I could do is maybe make the head bigger. I don't know, but I'm not even going to do that because this is really cool. Probably the best thing I've made and one of my favorite things. But now the question is, where do I put this guy on my shelf? Because he's not going to stay on my table forever. Because he'll get knocked over eventually. Because I'm always messing around and stuff. So yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys like it. This guy took me a really long time to make. And I hope that you guys like him as much as I do. Because this dude is honestly really cool. And just looking at this looks really intimidating and scary. But yeah, very, very fun. Didn't even know I could do it. I thought I was gonna have to order all the pieces, but I'm glad that I did. Kind of wish he was over 1 foot tall. That's the one thing that I wish, but even still, he is pretty huge. Yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.